kira ko baka naik motoran yun. At saka nakakatambak dito pag ako marasa lang ako dito. Ayun, ang motor ko. Tapos mga ano, ay, ibigay ko ba yan?
Welcome back to Talk Spirit Podcast. I am your host, Psychic Medium Jenny, and today I'm going to be talking about something big that is happening in the astrological world. Saturn has officially moved into the sign of Aries. And so, what does that mean for the collective? We're going to get into that on this episode today. So, let's first talk about this. This is not a soft energy. This is a very masculine energy with Saturn moving into Aries. And this is not like a manifest and journal and wait energy. This is a warrior training. This is an action oriented energy that we are moving into as of Friday the 13th. Today is Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's, my loves. So this is a very masculine warrior type of energy that we had just entered after being in Pisces for the last 2 years. Okay, so this energy is saying that if you've been playing small, Saturn is about to expose that. But if you have been building quietly, Saturn is going to reward that for you. Okay. So Saturn is going to reward those who have been quietly building and working toward their goals. Okay. So let's break this down into real terms and what this means for the collective. Okay. So, first of all, let's talk about what is Saturn. Okay, Saturn is structure, Saturn is discipline, Saturn is karma, and Saturn is consequences. That's why you may hear a lot of astrologers or people talking about karma is coming to get people. The karma works both ways. It can be good or it can be bad. So, it can be rewarding or it can be consequences. So, Saturn does not care about your excuses. Saturn is about consistency. Okay. So Saturn doesn't care about your excuses. Saturn doesn't care if you're feeling too tired. Saturn is about discipline. Okay. It's about consistency. Okay. So what is Aries? When you think of the sun, Aries, what is Aries? Aries is identity. Aries is impulsiveness. Aries is leadership, and Aries is action oriented. Okay. This is the first sign of the zodiac sign, the spark of the zodiac sign. Aries says, I'll go first. Okay. But here is the thing, Aries can also be impulsive and can act before thinking. Okay. So Aries can confuse ego with confidence. And that is where Saturn steps in with this sign. And again, this is collective energy. This is how this energy can show up for most of us. Okay. So, what does this transit mean for the collective? Like, how are we going to see this showing up as the collective? Is what people are wondering. Hey, Jenny, how is this going to affect me? Now, you would really want to dig deep into your astrological chart, and you would need to know your birth time and your rising sign to really see what house it's transiting to know on a personal level what's going to happen. But I am giving a collective energy read here on this and what it's going to mean for the collective. So, Saturn entering Aries is the era of accountability for your action. This is where people are talking about that karma, okay? It's mature leadership, it's structured independence. This is not the era of blaming people or blaming, or making the excuses. This is, what are you building and is it solid? Okay. It says, do you want to build you if you want to build something, if you want a business, then you must build it correctly. That's when Saturn will reward, okay? So if you want recognition, then you must master your craft, okay? Saturn in Aries says confidence must match competence, okay? So confidence must match competence, okay? So this is what you're going to see. This Aries also reflects I am. So this is where it is the ego checked era. So what you'll see with this transit is leaders collapsing if they are built on an image, especially false images. If they were portraying themselves one way and they're not who they're saying they are, if that's not their authentic self, or if they have things to hide, you're going to see those people collapse. This can be influencers losing momentum if they lack substance. And you're also going to see people being forced to grow up fast. So this is no longer, I'll just wait and see. This is grow up and do it time. So there's a immature and aggression will fail during this transit. This is not the time to be immature, aggressive. This is a time where discipline wins the race. Consistency wins the race. There's a big difference between dominating and being a leader. Okay. Saturn will expose that difference. So, Aries is passion, Saturn is structure. This is the era of turning your passion into a system. This means business plans instead of just ideas. This means saving instead of reckless spending. This means in commitment instead of impulsive quitting. This means even for your fitness routines, instead of random motivations that you burst, like, oh yeah, I'm going to start something, and then you don't stay consistent with it. Saturn is going to say, no, now you're going to be consistent, or you're going to get a reality check why you're not staying consistent. So if this is about your health, if this is about those things, spirit, Saturn, spirit too, but Saturn is going to say, um, you're supposed to be consistent with this, and now you're not. So now there's going to reality check to your health. Okay. So what as the collective are we going to see for the world during this transit? Like, what could we see? What would the collective, expect during this transit? So there's going to be stronger conversations around leadership and power. You're also going to see people who are going to start stepping into entrepreneurship, stepping into being a business with seriousness now. So people who maybe were saying, hey, I want to do this or I want to do that, you're going to see that people are going to be more focused and be more inclined to take those things serious. There's also going to be more focus on independence and self sufficiency. So, people wanting to be more independent and more self sufficient. Um, there's also going to be hard lessons around ego making decisions, if you're doing things out of ego or are you doing them out of discipline. So, this is basically the era of survival of the discipline era. This is the disciplined energy. Like I said, this is masculine energy. This is action oriented. This is consistency and building toward something. Um, it's not survival of who is the loudest. Okay. The spiritual lesson here with all of this is spiritually, this transit is about self mastery and like not your control over others, but more so your control over yourself. And I've already kind of been telling people, like, if they want to really be empowered, if they really want to take power, is doing spell work and doing energy work on themselves. So, really mastering yourselves, doing energy work on yourselves, balancing your chakras, getting spiritual healing, really mastering yourself and your internal self and working on who you are instead of trying to control the world around you. Controlling and mastering who you are as a person is really going to be the center focus. So this is a huge time for spiritual healing, Reiki sessions, and really even doing like glamour magic on yourself, magnetism, really working on building your aura and yourself instead of trying to control everyone around you. This is going to be about controlling yourself and working on your inner self, okay? Because Aries is I am, it's about self, okay? So this is going to be Saturn is going to ask you, can you regulate your anger? So it may put you in situations where you are tested. It's going to say, can you take initiative without chaos? Can you lead without needing validation? Because this is not an era of instant validation. This is not where, okay, I did it, now validate me. That is not what this is. This is a building block. This is building toward that, being rewarded later, not being rewarded in this very moment. Okay, so this is slow, quietly, and confidently and consistently building. That is what builds. Okay. So it says like that real power isn't the loudest, it's the consistency. Um, if you take nothing else from this episode, I would take this, that finish what you start. Don't confuse aggression with leadership. Just because someone is aggressive, just because someone comes off as a leader, is what they're saying really matching who you are as a person? This is about discipline is spiritual. This is about spiritual discipline as well. So showing up daily is spiritual, keeping your word is spiritual, and building something long term is spiritual. This isn't about perfection either. This isn't a time for perfection. This is about consistency. So it's okay not to be perfect. We don't have to be perfect during this time. We just have to build towards something and try to build rightfully. Okay. Um, like I said, you're going to see where people who haven't. So basically, Saturn is kind of like Aries is like, I'm doing it. And Saturn is like, okay, well, I need you to do it right. I need you to do it correctly. I need you to do it consistently. That's what Saturn is saying to the collective. I feel like don't look at it as Saturn is punishing you. Saturn matures you. Saturn makes you build. Um, and Aries doesn't wait. Okay. Aries is action oriented. So together, this is a grow up and a glow up. So for your future, this is you growing, maturing, and glowing up in the end, because you will be rewarded if you follow the consistency of this. So if you've been waiting for permission, this is it. This is the permission. Saturn's giving you permission right now. Saturn is saying, lead your life, build your structure, stand on your own name, build what you want, stand on your own name, be authentic. It's saying, it's time. It's time to grow up. It's time to do what is right. This is going to be the test. This is going to be the test here. So people who have not been themselves or who have not been building something from a true inner self, you're going to see things fall. So if over the years you have been quietly building, you could be rewarded during this era. But also don't feel like, okay, well, I haven't been building, so who cares? No, now is the time that you can build because Saturn will reward you in the end. It's just not instant gratification, it's long term stability and structure. But if you have been just messing up, now is the time that Saturn is going to be like, okay, now you're going to pay. Now you're going to pay because you haven't been doing what you're supposed to do, or you've been wronging people, or you haven't been who you say you are. So that is going to be another thing that we see in this, is that, have you been who you say you are? Like, have you been doing what you're supposed to do? Or have you just been wronging people and stepping on people? Because that is not going to hold up under this either. It's not going to hold up under this energy. If you really want to know how Saturn is going to affect you with it going into the sign of Aries on a personal level, the best thing to do is get an astrology reading, looking into this. You will need your date of birth, as it will we'll need to know your rising sign. I am going to be offering these here soon. So if you want to know on a personal level, how will Saturn affect me personally, then this would be a good, private reading that you could get done with knowing your birth time is what you would need to know. Right now, Saturn is giving you permission to basically take control of yourself and your life. So this is in the time where it's like we need to be scared. We need to kind of find that warrior within and go build what we've been really wanting to build. This is a very encouraging time. This is a disciplined time. It's not scary. Just build toward what you really want and take this energy and use it to your advantage. And if you're ready for more astrology and more spiritual talk and breakdowns into deeper spiritual strategy and just real world application, make sure you subscribe and share and tag me, because this era, we're not playing small. Okay. We're not playing small this era. We're building something long term. We're building something big. I'll see you guys next episode. Again, if you would like to book a private session with me, you can do so at psychicmediumjenny.com. Until next time, thank you so much for listening to Talk Spirit.